So let's jump to the last corporate job you had when you were like, F this, like,
Yes.
I'm out.
Yeah, so I bounced from job to job, and I finally landed on a great job. What I thought was great at the time. I worked for a magazine. It was a wedding planning magazine and website. And I worked there for 7 years.
Okay.
And it was such a sweet setup in
Yeah.
the beginning. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, I get to work from home. I had never worked from home before. And this is like 7 years ago, 8 years ago now. It's like working from home was not
Right.
as, standard as it is
Right.
right now
Yeah.
in the middle
As
of
it
the
will be
pandemic.
forever.
Yes. So working from home was a new luxury,
Mhm.
and I sold digital and print advertising.
Okay.
So I got to work in the wedding industry, which as a 25, 26-year-old sounded fabulous.
Sure.
I was like, I am planning my own wedding at the time. This is great. I'm going to work in the wedding industry. This is so glamorous. And I sold advertising to, your wedding venues, so the wedding caterers, the planners. So the wedding pros were my clients. And I got to experience some really great things and travel and do some really fun, cool, glam things.
Yeah.
But that's like the highlight reel, right? That's like the Instagram version.
Sure.
The day-to-day version was you're a number. Like you are a part of a large company first, but second, like you are dollar signs when you're in the advertising world.
Yeah.
And you've got print magazines going out with deadlines and the amount of money that's being put into those. You got to sell a certain amount of advertising.
Right.
And I held, $1 million plus book of business. So the amount of pressure to perform, and I started working there before I had children. So I was married, but I had this time where at the end of the evening I could open up my laptop and work some more. And like you could work 24/7 if you wanted to,
right.
But the pressure was just unending. And it was cool the first couple years. And then I had my daughter, and everything kind of changed after I had Ellie.
How old were you when you had her?
I was 29.
Okay.
When I had her. I turned 30 the year I had her. So
Okay.
29, 30. And I had her in 2015. And everything just shifted after that. Like I had a beautiful pregnancy. Everything was very great. Like it was not a difficult pregnancy. I had a wonderful maternity leave. I got 12 weeks off.
Wow.
Like who gets 12 weeks paid off? So going back from maternity leave, I just had this perspective shift. Like, what am I doing? Why am I working? What am I doing? Selling ads. Like I'm just slinging ads. I'm making money. The money is great. And now I'm paying for childcare.
Right.
So, a large percentage of my income was going back into childcare. And I was in the unfortunate situation where I made too much money. Like for some women, if they don't make enough money, they're like, well, I'm just going to stay home with the baby, because unfortunately their salary isn't high enough to cover daycare. But when you do make enough money, it's almost like a golden handcuff. It's like a curse kind of. Like I make too much money, and at the time I think I was maybe even the breadwinner. Like I made the most money. So I'm here, we got a mortgage and we got cars, and I'm like, I gotta go back to work. And now Ellie is in daycare, and I'm like, why am I doing all this, right? It just kind of hit me all at once, this like overwhelming sense of guilt about working while she's being taken care of by somebody else. Like, why did I have a child if I'm gonna have somebody else take care of her? But I've always wanted to be a working mother, and I've always wanted to have a career in some sense, but just this overarching why. Like, why am I doing this? I'm not making a difference to anybody, and that's just a hard thing to swallow, to feel like I am not helping somebody, I'm not bettering somebody, and all these hours spent away from this adorable little baby are for what? Dollars. Dollars for somebody else at the end of the day. So that was really a hard pill to swallow. And I worked for them for 7 years. So I had my second child in 2017, and it all those feelings again, that long maternity leave.
So in that between 2015 2017 when you had your second one, did you just kind of like give in and be like, well, I'm just going to do this for now? Or was something always on the back burner? Was it like, because I think it can be easy to fall into for me, I would fall into like a depressive state But if I knew that there was an end goal in sight, that there was something more and I was always working towards that goal, it's like you could suck it up and do it. But when it feels like there's no end in sight and you don't know what the next step is, or you don't have an answer, you don't have a plan, that's when that anxiety or like, sadness kind of creeps in. So where were you between those 2 years kind of mentally?
Great question. So I was the latter. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have an end in sight, because here you're perpetuating this. I make money. I'm making more money. Right. Now we've got 2 kids, and now we're going to have a second child. It's going to be 2 kids in daycare. So it's like, I just felt like I had to get through it. I had to suck it up because I had a quote unquote great job. Sure. I had a great setup, working from home.
People would kill for that job.
People would kill for this job. It's a glam job. It's the perfect job. Right. Like, people think it's so glamorous. And I just knew I had to suck it up for a little while. I'd go through bouts where I would look for other jobs. And I would interview with other jobs. And I'm like, I don't want to just take another job.
Right.
Is what I call it. Like, if I'm going to go somewhere, it's got to be better than this.
Right.
Because you can't get much better
right.
than where I am right now. So I did feel super stuck.
Right.
Like, that was the worst feeling, to just feel like, well, shit, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
But again, you're still putting the energy out there like, okay, no, I don't want to do this.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. I knew there was more. I knew I didn't want to do that. I knew I still wanted to work. I didn't really want to stay home.
Sure.
I love the fact that there are women that could be stay-at-home moms, but that wasn't me.
Yeah.
I'm not cut out for that, frankly.
At least not 100%, right?
No, I needed something more. So it was a matter of having to start working on myself and really kind of dig deep and figure out what's next.
This is great. I love, I love that there's not, like, we're not talking about like anxiety, depression, like it's all kind of just life, right? Because so many times I interview people and they have these traumatic things, and that obviously is an indicator of what happens to them mentally. But I think this is huge because you're kind of just going through all the steps that quote unquote a woman should go through, right? With the job and the marriage and the kids. But for you, what steps did you take to work on yourself? Because I think a lot of times when we don't know what to do next, we feel stuck. We don't even know what steps to take to work on ourselves.
Right. There's no playbook for that.
Right.
There's no YouTube channel.
Right.
That tells you how to do that. So it's, I don't remember how I got started reading personal growth books. I think I was just in this really stuck state, in this unhappy state. I was lost, I was unhappy, and because I was those things, I was lashing out at my husband, or I was just not wanting to do the things I normally wanted to do, or I was drinking too much, or eating like crap, like coping really poorly with being unhappy. And I knew that I was the only one that could make that change. Like, Jay couldn't change it for me.
Yes.
My kids couldn't change it for me. My friends, my mom, like, it was me, If you want to make a change, you have to do something about it, no matter what area of your life it is.